guys, so I am just leaving school, and new Skulls on Fire jewelry necklace, gonna review that. You can watch my jewelry collection, my Versus by Versace watch review. There's a lot of traffic here at school, and there's some kind of thing going on, I don't know. I'm in college, if you guys don't know, or you guys haven't followed, or this is the first video you're watching. Pretty stressful stuff I've been dealing with in school. I just thought I'd do this car vlog because, not minding the stress that I'm going through at school, that possibly may be another video if nothing gets resolved there, because I have written a letter to my university and several, like they say, prominent people in my university, but we'll see how that issue is handled by people. And I've been playing this cat and mouse game, trying to meet up with different people, and it seems as if nothing is getting resolved, and the people I meet with just tell me to meet with other people, so as Leo says, Black Widow baby. But just on my way home, don't know how long this video is going to be. There are these kids like on their bikes on the side of the street, like, kid, go home. I think it's Thursday today, yeah, because yesterday was Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to those who have served. And I truly appreciate it, because I do have military family as well, and it's tough being away from them and stuff like that. And then when you really look at what they do, and I've done research and papers, and now in college, and I turned in a 15-page paper, you guys, and I got a 99 just because of a little, like, citation error, because I didn't do a block citation, I think. But I mean, that was cool. But the essay itself wasn't like 15 pages, but that was including like the work cited and the reflection, which, I mean, the essay itself was probably like 9 pages, I think, like what I wrote. And then besides the reflection, that's like 12, I think, maybe. But the reflection I don't really count, but I mean, it is still writing, so whatever floats your boat. 15-page total, so to speak. And that's besides the fact. So again, happy Veterans Day to those who have served, as always. I'm so repetitive, but I want to do this car vlog because yesterday on Facebook there is something that kind of like got me, because obviously it would be personal to an extent. Not saying that I have like low self-confidence or body confidence or anything like that, so to speak. I mean, I do have some issues with my body, and I mean, obviously nobody loves their body. Everybody finds their own little things about their own body that they don't like, you know? And for me, obviously, that would be something like weight. I mean, we saw my mukbang, I kind of expressed that I probably do have an eating disorder, probably. Nothing like too severe and stuff, and maybe people can disregard that, people like, oh, you're just saying that for the video and stuff, but like, no, you know, there's, like I say, I'd say a stress eater and an emotional eater because of things, and I'm not saying that leads me to feel a certain way or anything like that, but I guess kind of standing up for people, because that's what I do. And there's this guy that I went to high school, and his Facebook posts are just ridiculous, you guys. Like, I know we all have that one person who posts, but like, he literally, like, he is very sexist and homophobic, and I guess he is a body shamer, not even fat shaming in general, if we want to talk in the terms of his context. Because last night, well, yeah, 6 p.m, you know, the sun's down, so night, time change, he posted something like, oh, it's like really funny to hear people like, and fat shaming like that, and like, that doesn't exist. He's like, it's okay to be fat if you're trying to do something about it. But then he goes on to say, like, you shouldn't be complaining about it because you're either not doing something about it or you're not doing something right, which kind of just defeats the, like, I guess he refuted his own argument like the worst way possible. Like, he just canceled out his argument by saying, like, it's okay to be fat, but then, like, there's no reason you should be fat, so to speak, you know, if you get what I'm trying to say. And he was like, there's no such thing as fat shaming. And then he puts these hashtags like fuck the body acceptance movement, and he put in, what is it, obesity kills. And I mean, obviously obesity can kill, you know, when people like maybe have a eating disorder or maybe genetic, you know. It's not always because people are lazy. And that's kind of what struck me, because he says like, oh, like, you should be working out. And I saw some of the comments, and I was talking to his uncle, they were just like, just because like you have the body of this, like, doesn't mean, you know. And then I was talking to some friends about it, and they're like, yeah, he won't be talking about that like when his metabolism slows down, you know, so to speak, as we get older, because that's what's projected, that's what's predicted, that we may gain weight as we get older, because we do, like, we're not as active as we are in our young years, obviously. So there is that probability that maybe he may be fat someday, and he won't be like saying, like, parading around with the same flag. And I was just like, you can't truly say fat shaming doesn't exist. And then one thing that really, like, because he's one of those, like, I know Trisha Paytas did a video about this, and it's like gym jerks or gym heads, something like that. Kind of just like push you to go to the gym, and they're just like, yeah, fitness this, and like work out, and if you don't work out, you're lazy and stuff like that. I say it's not really being lazy, because even sometimes if they want to bring up that argument, like even sometimes people who do go to the gym are always like, oh, I don't have enough time, and like blah blah blah, and, you know, like everybody cries like they say. And for one, he is like a really scrawny, if he wants to get into like personal image, because like that's basically what he's doing about other people. He was a scrawny little stereotypical cholo, illegal looking alien Mexican, and I'm Mexican too, so let's not even start something like that, like, oh, you're being racist, because it's like African American people saying the N-word against each other, you know, it's just something like that. So in my mind, I'm just like, first of all, because I saw his dad comment and his mom, and they're just like, yeah, you tell him, like, fucking fat asses and stuff, but of course in Spanish. And in my mind, I'm like, is your mom even like a size 0, so to speak? And I'm just like, is your dad even, like, does your dad even work out, bro? You know, like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, if we really want to get to, I'm like, your family isn't fit, your family isn't healthy. Like, it's like he's forcing his little brother, from what I see, to start, like, lifting weights and stuff like that. And that's what I don't like. Because my brother is very much an avid weightlifter and body person, because he's athletic, you know, like, he's in baseball, he goes to college because of baseball like that and stuff like that, and he has his own ambitions and aspirations in life. I said, that's fine, but when you force those ambitions and aspirations on life in a negative manner, so to speak, and you project it with such a negative energy against others, especially by saying fat shaming doesn't exist, I said, that's not true, because it cannot even be just fat shaming, it can just be body shaming, because let's just say, oh, now that you just, like, worked out for a couple months and you achieved some kind of body and Transformation Tuesday and whatever, and, like, Flashback Fridays, doesn't make you, like, the epitome of perfection. Like, let's say, I mean, you can have the body, but if the face is a little, you know what I mean? I can talk because I have acne. I always point out my own, like, little imperfections about myself. I said, that's what I do. Like I say, I am comedy like Jennifer's. Like, it is a self-humility thing. Our whole life is a joke, so to speak, which is why we're the jokers. And I'm just like, who hurt this kid? Because also when I say sexist and homophobic, like, he posts this picture and it's like this guy having a girl in a chokehold and he's like, equal rights? Well, how about equal fights? And I'm just like, who are you? Like, and then obviously with the Caitlyn Jenner thing, there's a lot of people who talk about Caitlyn Jenner, like, that's another issue in itself. And that's another research project that I'm doing for college. But, like, when people want to be, like, high and mighty and talk about the Bible and be like Mr. and Mrs. Bible, so to speak, or, like, they think they're preaching or serving tea, I'm just like, you're not. Like, you're not. Like, I don't know who you think you are. Like, your ego is so far beyond where you think you are. Because I said, if you didn't lift weights, I said you would still be that scrawny Mexican kid, and, like, you wouldn't be saying the same thing either way, you know? And it's just so stupid because they try to, like, especially this one girl, oh my god, she's like, oh my god, my boyfriend this, and, like, you know, like, Bible this and Bible versus this, and my boyfriend, like, God, I'm the only one for him, and her boyfriend was like, oh, like, blah blah blah, is the only girl for me. And I'm just like, that girl was a hoe in middle school. Let me tell you one thing, I went with her. I said, but there are plenty of whores that have been redeemed in the Bible, so that's another thing. But then, like, when guys like him, and then, like, that girl, like that girl and stuff like that, want to live by the Bible and be like a person of the Lord, and yet they have all this negative energy that they still project, I said, not even getting into, like, let's say, like, the LGBT community or, like, fat people, but just, like, if you're gonna be rude to people and not be, like, as nice as the Lord intends you to be, and I don't even want them to bring up the argument, like, well, we're all sinners, so I said, well, then stop fucking sinning if you want to live by the fucking Bible, you know? Because you can't be preaching and being like, oh, God, this, and, like, inspirational thing here, and inspirational little caption for Instagram here, you know? Like, you can't be doing those things and yet say, like, people are lazy, or, like, people are this, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 you know? Like, it makes no sense to me why people are like this and what thought process goes into them posting these things. And it's just so exhausting to read the same thing, because I'm just like, who hurt you? Like, is that the reason you work out? Because someone maybe told you this, or maybe you've seen other guys, like they say, maybe growing up or in school or wherever you go, or whatever that conditional process and now that's happening in the world. Like they say, especially in LA, like, oh, everything fitness is this, and like you see things of like fit tea and whatever. And it's just like, what triggered this in this kid, for an instance, that made him want to work out? Like, was it truly, like, is it more of a body dysmorphia kind of perspective, in the sense of, is he just trying to look like the ideal, like, let's say, what would we say, billboard representation of a man, so to speak? Or is it actually just trying to have a fit and healthy lifestyle? Because there's two very good differences, and addiction even comes out of going to the gym also, because those same chemicals in the brain that are released during sex are released during, like, exercise, I believe, if I'm correct. And you can become addicted to working out, just like there are sex addicts and, you know, like drug addicts and stuff. Like, everything can become addiction because of excess. And when you have kind of those negative, like, I would say, they wouldn't be stigmas, because you would have a stigma against someone else, but when you have that negative thought process to stigmatize others, like how he says, like, fat shaming and body shaming, so to speak, I'm like, you can't just say things like that. Like, you can't say something doesn't exist, because either, one, you haven't been personally victimized, so to speak. I mean, I get comments, I get tweets, I get things like that. You know, like, people tell me I'm fat. And second of all, I said, just because you were, like they say, born skinny, I said you weren't like a fitness model, and you never probably will be. And like I say, just because you went to the gym for a couple of months, like they say, you got this somewhat of an ideal body in your mind, as it doesn't mean like you can like just parade around and be like, you work out and blah, blah, like, you know, forcing people to work out, and like being like, you're lazy and you're fat because you're lazy, and you shouldn't be ashamed because people like point you out on it. I'm just like, there are things we can point out about each other. Like, I just like, are you even legal? Is your mom even a size 0? Is your dad even working out? You know, like, it makes no sense. And I'm just like, you're kind of the only one working out, because I'm like, as far as I see from Facebook and stuff like that, I'm like, it doesn't look like your family is like a huge like fitness family. Like your dad was wearing a tracksuit, an Adidas tracksuit, but that doesn't mean he goes to the gym like pumping iron, you know. I mean, who knows? Maybe they do, but I said, well, y'all don't have perfect bodies to be speaking like that. And it was so stupid, and I was talking to this girl about it, because I said, wow, like, maybe this is a reason, because he's so sexist, because he also posted this thing, I don't know how you say the band's name, I would just want to say Churches, because it's CH, and I think it's a V, and then CHES, and I look at it as, like, Churches, not like Church's Chicken, problems, but, not like that, but like a church, you know, like, where you go to worship, where sinners worship, per se. And she was talking about how when this one guy at a concert was like, oh, will you marry me? And she kind of pointed it out as a sexist thing, and then he's like, oh, just because like one instance ruined it for you doesn't mean everything is sexist, boo-hoo. And I was like, boo-hoo are you? I'm just like, first off, I said, you and I said, as males, will never experience what females experience when it comes to sexism, when it comes to sexual harassment. I mean, I wrote my paper about the institutionalization of rape culture against women. And I say, I, as a guy, as a male, as chromosomes or whatever, if you want to get down to that level, I say we'll never know what it feels like to be a woman, so to speak, when it comes to those stigmas perceived. And then it also leads into Caitlyn Jenner thing, where Caitlyn said, like, you aren't born a woman, you become a woman. And I said, in reality, that's true, because sociologically, we created those terms. Male, female, woman, man, boy, girl. You know, culture even says, like, you're going to become a man, you're going to become a woman. Like, this is what you have to go through. Like, you aren't truly born words. I said, you are born with a gender, and you are born with reproductive organs. I said, but can that truly mean, I say, in a way, yes, but also in a way, no. And I say, maybe if they want to talk biblically, I said, we were given, like, I'd say the opportunity to choose. I believe that's what it is, like, along those lines. Like, we are allowed to have choices, you know, because if not, like they say, we'd be living like this dystopian utopia, so to speak. And just, he was just like, because one experience ruined it for you, everything's like sexual harassment or blah blah blah. And he's like, boo-hoo. I mean, I was just like, oh, I was like, this is why that one girl didn't want to go out with you, boo-hoo, boo. Because first of all, with the fat shaming thing, the girl that he liked and the girl that he was hitting on, she posted a picture with him and stuff like that. And like, everybody knows, like, if you want to go by the context, by what he posted and what he says in his thought process, like, she was fat, she's lazy, she doesn't get her fat ass off the couch, like, she's body shamed, I'm sure, or fat shamed in his sense, or there's nothing as fat shaming, it's just because you're lazy, then she's the laziest fat ass we've ever seen. In his context, in his words, using what he says, that's what I'm applying here. And it makes no sense, because I said, then that even shows the way that he takes away the value of possibly even women in general, or girls, or females. Because to say that this doesn't exist, yet she is fat, I said, so then what truly would he be looking at her for? Would it be looks? Is he very superficial? Which it could possibly be when you say fat shaming doesn't exist and work out and blah blah blah, and he's just such this gym head. And then also, if that isn't what it is, or that's besides the fact, maybe he just wants to get it in with her. And I said that would be very like that is beyond white trash, so to speak, in a way, because that would just mean not even just looking for sex and not even loving someone or sharing that kind of like gift with someone, but the fact of like, I would say, leading on that girl and just trying to get it in, like, you know, like a hit it and quit it kind of thing. Like, that's just messed up, you know. And Amber Rose has talked about this in her slut walk and stuff, and it kind of upsets me that people don't take Amber Rose seriously as well, but that is another topic. But with this guy, I'm just like, what is up with like his posts, and like what is up with him, you know? Like, all his posts are just like, ugh, like, I feel like he thinks he's preaching and he thinks he's serving tea, but in reality, like, he just looks like an asshole and a dick and a jerk. And I mean, if I were that petty, I would totally like put his name and like information here, and I'll just post screenshots of the post so you guys can see. But like, I'm just like, what is wrong with you, you know? Like, I just look at people like that and I'm just like what happened? Like, were you not hugged as a child? Were you not loved? Did your parents hate you? Like, what is the issue here? Like, why are you like this? Why are you such a negative person? And yet, like, they say, like, at high school and stuff like that, and like the way he tries to project himself, his thing is like in Spanish, like the gentleman, like el catrín, you know, so to speak. It's not those exact words, it's something with the G, and it rhymes with his name. And I think it is a Spanish-Mexican culture, so to speak, because I'm Mexican. There's always that, like, machismo kind of thing, and, like, you gotta be this, and blah, 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 and you gotta be macho, and everything, like, fuck girls, so to speak. That is the culture of Mexicans. And I say I'm not stereotyping all Mexicans, but then again, I said I can speak from experience, because I come from a Mexican background. And it's always been like that, like, I think even in general with men, like, the more women you sleep with, like, the more of a man you are, but then also, like, when it comes to those women who you slept with, you start to slut shame them, like they say, if they close the factory, so to speak, which is they don't open their legs to anymore. And I said you can't pick and choose, like, when, I would say, when to make love, so to speak, and when to, I guess, project who you truly are and whatnot like that, because it's just ridiculous, and it's sad to see someone be so, I would say, duplicitous, in a sense that you can't project two different people when those two different people are you. Or you can't suppress these feelings and then, like they say, go on your keyboard and just, like, type all this tea or truth or preach, you know? And I'm just like, you can't do that, you know? Like, either you're one person or you're not. And basically what I'm trying to say is, like, one, like, don't say, like, fat shaming doesn't exist, because obviously it does. Like, if it didn't, like, and then if he wants to get into, like, oh, it's because you're lazy, or, like, oh, because this, or, like, because you don't do anything about yourself. Like, you don't do anything about your... Like, I'm like, you can't speak for other people's lifestyles. Like I say, genetics, or maybe sickness, or, you know, let's say you have someone who lost their legs. And, I mean, it can be argued, like, oh, there's some, like, soldiers who lose their legs, yet they work out and stuff. And I believe one of them was up for the Arthur Ashe Award against Caitlyn Jenner, so to speak. Like, it can be argued, like, yeah, you can still work. I said, yeah, but I said, but also when, like, let's say, for men, if they lose, like, their legs or something like that, and they can't walk, and they can't truly provide, like, they're disabled, so to speak, by that societal standard, that devalues a man himself, because he kind of looks at himself less of a man, and, like, maybe that kind of triggers something in him to not work out, to not do this, and maybe he can gain weight because of it. I said, would you be saying those same words to someone like that, you know? And, like, going back to genetics, like, there are some people who are genetically born, to an extent, fat. so to speak, or there can be something like they say slow metabolism, or there can be this, and like I say, it can be argued like, well, they can get up and change their lives, and I said, but also when it's like genetic, or also like let's just say that it's her lifestyle. I said, what, I guess, thrills you to find out so much about another person and try to almost, I would say, dedicate your life to trying to like tell fat people to get off their ass and go work out. Like, already you can't say fat shaming exists, because I said you would be fat shaming people, because like they say, he already, like they say, put out into the universe, so to speak, on Facebook that you're fat because you don't work out and you don't do this. And then he says like to his uncle, who's like, you can't, like, you know, like, just because you're like, you're young and blah blah blah, you can't say this. He's like, oh, this is for the people who understand, this is for the people who, like, what I get from it, like how the way he says it, and like the context of all his like little posts, saying like, for us gym heads, like, we understand this, you know. And I'm just like, okay, y'all, but like, you know, sometimes those little like proteins or whatever, and supposedly he doesn't take protein from another post that I saw and everything like that. I'm like, those things can cause harm. Like I said, you can become addicted to working out, and that can be like a self-destructive process, so to speak. Like, not even thought process, but also just body-wise, like exhaustion, and maybe their heart can get tired, or whatever they take, or whatever they drink, or whatever they diet. And I say that could also possibly lead to like bulimia and anorexia. And there is such a thing as skinny shaming as well. You know, like, there are some girls who wish they had more meat on the bros, and like they say they eat, but they can't gain weight. But like I said, also with fat people, I said it's just more of an easy target, I would say. And it's more, I would say, talked about, and it's more prevalent because of those things. Like, because I would say the westernization ideal and the culture and maybe our perspective and point of view here, like they say in the States and stuff like that, like, we see the ideal body as like muscular, and we see it as very fit and blah blah blah. Like, we see celebrities working out, we see them taking these drinks and detoxing and everything like that. Like Chuck Norris going back to like the Total Gym or something. Like, you see celebrities endorse this, like they say. You see Hollywood, which we're very impressionable by, especially at a young age. And to say that fat shaming doesn't exist, I said, so then what is the point of all these workout equipments and blah blah blah? Fat shaming doesn't exist. Like, if it doesn't exist, like, also, why would having to be healthy or having to work out to look good exist? Like, if there isn't such a thing that's negative, why should a positive exist? Because either way, a negative or a positive should cancel out. But also in this case, like, there's no point in it, because it's very weird to explain, very abstract, the way I'm trying to put it in the words that I'm trying to think right now. But it's like saying, I would say racism doesn't exist. I'm like, first of all, like they say, I'm not African American, so I cannot, like they say, speak from personal experience and stuff like that. And then for someone else to be like, oh, like, racism doesn't exist, like I say, you're not African American, one. But then also, like, you can't just say it doesn't exist, because not even the fact that you're African American, maybe the fact that you've never experienced it, like, you have that, I wouldn't say privilege, because then it becomes a race thing where you're like, white privilege. But no, like, maybe you've just been, like they say, closed off from the world from an extent that you've not experienced, like, that kind of negative energy projected towards you, or towards family, or towards family members, you know. And with that being said, I said, just because, like they say, you're trying to be like the fitness guru in your house or whatever, or blah blah blah, I'm like, that doesn't make you like someone who could just be on a podium platform and just be like, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, and then say fat shaming doesn't exist. As I said, you just totally went against what you say, because obviously you're not practicing what you preach, so to speak. And I know he said that to someone in his comments, because he's like, well, maybe you would have heard the message, you would have understood what I'm like. And I'm just like, we understand that you basically saying that fat shaming doesn't exist, yet you say it's okay to be fat because at least you're trying. But then at the same time, it's like, well, like, if you're trying, like, you shouldn't be fat, you know. Like, it's like that Oprah meme, like, so what is the truth, you know? But then also, like, is there a deep-rooted issue with this guy here? And I know this is a long video, but it's just ridiculous, honestly. Like, I just look at that guy and I'm just like, who are you? I'm just like, sexist, homophobic, body shamer, not even fat shamer. I'd probably say very egotistical and stuff like that. And I'm just like, who hurt you? You know, like, do you need a hug from someone? Like I say, did your parents not hug you as a child? Did they not carry you? Like, is there some kind of emotional abuse underlying, or is there some kind of body dysmorphia in yourself or something like that? Because, like, you saw fit people and you weren't fit for a while. You're just some scrawny Mexican kid. Like, you know, what is it that, first of all, caused you to, like, would say, pick up the weights and stuff. Because, you know, sometimes when you really look at people and you ask them, like, oh, so why did you start working? Like, oh, because I see other people, like, if you really get down to it, they're just like, because, like, they say, I saw magazines. Also, like, when you ask girls about bulimia and anorexia, it's like, because they're so influenced by the media and by others and by peers and just by society in general to be this ideal, like, skinny person, which skinny is associated with fit. But then also, we do shame those who are skinny and those who can be fit or who are fit, because I would probably say Monica Lewinsky said it best, like, we live in a society of humility and we love to humiliate others, and sometimes self-humiliation comes along with that, but we do like to tear each other apart. But it said, just because you say fat shaming doesn't exist and you can get a lot of likes and a lot of people agree with you, just probably have the same stupid, ignorant mindset like you, doesn't mean that it's truth, and doesn't mean you're right, and doesn't mean you're, I would say, justified in saying that, or you have credibility or authority to say that. Like, being like, oh, I go to the gym, I'm not fat, so I can say this about that. Like, you know, that just, there's no sense in that. And it just made me so upset to see, like, someone saying that, but then also, like, well, you wanted this girl who was fat, you know, like, why are you dating as a fat, lazy bitch if that's how we want to get down to it? Like I say, in the context of his words and his posts and stuff like that. And I said, and you say equal rights, equal fights, instead, are you going to beat her? Are you going to, like, they say, is the output of your relationship, if you're a guy with her, going to be, like, very demeaning and very degrading? Because equal rights and equal fights, you know, like, a guy chokeholding a woman, people can be like, oh, that's just, like, humor and stuff like that. I said, but when he kind of posts other things like that and everything, and he tries to be this, he tries to paint himself as this one picture, but then he's painting a totally different one on social media and stuff like that. Like, that's just not right. And it's kind of like me, how I say on my In Bed with Pedro, if you don't watch these videos, I say, I feel very vulnerable in front of the camera and stuff like that. And I let the truth be told, because I said, for some reason, I say I feel more comfortable in front of a camera. Like I say, you guys have seen me cry on camera, you guys have seen me, like, you know, depressed and stuff like that. And like I say, I'm a work in progress, I'm not perfect, and some of you can argue, like, why are you talking about someone if you're not perfect? So it's because, see, well, the same thing can be said to him. And I'm making a video about it, and not just commenting, because I said, what does the comment do? Is I'm not just commenting about it, like, I am making this video also, because it is something that I feel a lot of people deal with, and a lot of people will still deal with, just like women's rights and the LGBT community and, like, racism. Like, I honestly feel like these differences and these negative thought processes and stigmas against each other, and trying to, this almost of a neo-caste system is just, it's never gonna go away. Like, let's say, maybe in Karl Marx's theory, the bourgeoisie would be like the fit people in this case, and like the fat people would kind of be like the lower class, and those people, according to him, who are trying to not be fat, but then at the same time feel ashamed because they're fat, because they're not doing something right, maybe be the middle class, so to speak, or maybe they be the outcasts in the Japanese sociological aspect. But I said, you can't really just say things don't exist because they don't affect you, because you haven't been fat, so to speak. Like, I'm pretty sure he's experienced some skinny shaming where he's felt like some self-degradation, in fact, like, oh, I don't lift weights, I'm just a scrawny kid. Because I'm like, we all look at ourselves in the mirror, and we all point out what we believe are our strongest imperfections or flaws, or what we don't like about ourselves, you know, like the same mirror on the wall. Like, I'm not the fairest of them all, so to speak, you know, like, acne, fat, blah, blah, blah. Been called many things, been bullied all my life, so I said I have a lot of experience like this of being just attacked. And also putting myself on social media like this. I said I have experience, and I said, does it hurt? I said, I can lie and say no, but I said sometimes where it'll come through just like, why? And then also like, why? What drives people to be so rude and so negative, you know? And the whole point of this, with the fat shaming and everything, and body shaming, so to speak, is just like, don't even say things that you're not educated about. Like, don't even just generalize statements like that. Like, don't just put something out there and just don't expect some kind of reaction or like get flack for it, because obviously he's just like, oh, well, this is for the people, understand it, blah blah blah. Like, you know, like, you can take my advice. Like, it's kind of like it's like my way or the highway kind of thing that I see from his responses to his family who commented. Well, only like one uncle, because his direct family seemed to agree with him. It was like, yeah, fat people will suck, and like fat people are lazy too. And I'm just like, not all fat people are lazy. Like I said, some are genetically fat, some people get sick, and there are many reasons why someone can be fat, like eating disorders, or maybe you're just psychologically there's something that causes them to intake so many calories, or like they say, slow metabolism. You know, there's biological, there are mental, and there are physical, and there's a lot of factors that just play into body weight, body shape, body modifications, body dysmorphias, and then also the way that your body distributes that weight. And it's just ridiculous, you guys. Like, honestly, with him, like, he is just so, he is worse than Hitler, honestly. And then you can be like, oh, that's such a thing to say, and blah blah blah. And it's like, it's kind of like a neo-Holocaust also. Like, seems like with people like that, where people are conditioned to go to the gym and be fit, or are they working towards a body dysmorphic ideal of the perfect body, which no one's going to have that perfect body, because we all put different people on different pedestals, so to speak. And beauty is an eye beholder. Like, what you term as beautiful or accepted is probably different from every other person. So, like I say, everyone is different, everybody has different shapes, and like, not even like body acceptance, but just maybe even tolerance and acceptance of people, and like, take away from someone being fat, someone being LGBT, someone being a race. Because in all honesty, like they say that cliche saying, like, there is no such thing as races. Like, there's only one race, and that is the human race. And I say these social or sociological terms and ideals, and I would say neo-caste systems that we created ourselves, you know. Like, from the beginning of time, like, we've had, like in Karl Marx, like the bourgeoisie, and then we've had like the very noble, and we've had the very rich, and, you know, the kings and queens and servants and peasants and everything like that, and knights. So I'm just like, we've created these systems to kind of oppress ourselves. And with this fat shaming thing or body shaming thing, like, I'm just like, what drives people, you know, just to say those things? And I know I'm being very repetitive in this video, but it's something that just repeatedly happens with this guy, that I just see him post all these things, and then he posts things about women, then he posts things like they say about Caitlyn Jenner, and he posts these things of just, it's beyond me, you guys, and it's just ridiculous. And I know this video is long again, but like they say, it has to be said, and it's just so, it's so stupid. Like, ignorance is bliss, I guess, for him, because like they say, he thinks he's preaching, he thinks he's serving all this tea or whatever, but in reality, he just looks like an asshole or a jerk. So, I don't know, you can sound off in the comments, you can call me fat, you can call me lazy, whatever you want. I can take it to an extent and everything like that, but like, just don't generalize, you know, just don't say things like that. Like, I'm using his context, his post, from what I've gone analyzing it, like I say, from repeated actions and repeated posts and repeated, like they say, responses, and the repeated output that he gives every time he posts something. So I'm going off of like his thing, you know, like, I'm not saying like personal vendetta, like they say, or whatever. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm using what he's saying, like they say, to make this video, so to speak. And he's just, I'd say, an asshole, so to speak, for being so negative and so mean, so to speak. And then he says, he also posts, you know, like, things that offend people, 2015, and it's a big book, and he's just like, oh yeah, nothing offends people anymore, like, there's nothing people get offended by, you know, being sarcastic. Like, everyone gets offended by something. I know, like, the argument can be brought up, like, well, why are you so offended that he said this and stuff? But then I can also be like, well, you're the one who says there's so many things people get offended by. Like, why to get offended? I said, why would you be offended by fat people, so to speak, or like the existence of fat people, or the existence of fat shaming not being real according to you, you know? Like, it makes no sense. Like, paradox or something like that. Like, you know, it's just, he is so stupid, honestly, and that's why I keep saying ignorance is because, like, he doesn't even know what he's trying to preach or what he's preaching, and he just looks dumb doing it, honestly. So, I don't know if you've had experiences with fat shaming or body shaming in his context. Like I said, leave it in the comments. Everything like that, sexism, homophobia, the degradation of women, stuff like that. Like, just, there's a lot of things in this world that are wrong, and I don't know. One day I hope in this world, in this future, that maybe I can talk on a major platform or whatever, and kind of point out these issues, and kind of just help people just be smart, and, you know, just actually experience the world, and know that it's not just about you. Like, we're grow up, you know? You guys just be nice to people, you know? Just, like, even if it's a fake thing, at least be nice in front of them, and, like, just don't even project that negativity on social media. Like, just, that's just stupid, you know? Because what if his boss is fat and that boss were to see that, you know, like, obviously you're not getting the job, boo, so think before you speak and think before you act. And I know I put myself on social media out there and a lot of things like that. And I even, like, coined myself, like, the next Kim Kardashian, so to speak. I said, I'm gonna take whatever consequence or reward comes from it, so to speak. And that's me, because I choose to put myself in that position. But when someone like this, someone that ignorantly, just I kept saying ignorance is bliss, like, that's just grow up, you know? Like, you guys just don't be stupid. Just actually think before you speak and think before you act. Those cliche sayings are so true, honestly, some from experience. But like I said, leave comments down below if you've ever experienced some kind of shaming or racism or homophobia or whatever like that, because there can be many videos on this, honestly. So leave all those in the comments and everything like that, and I may insert the screenshots of the post just so you can see the context that I'm coming from his posts. But anywho, I want to say hi to Rami Malek. Stay safe and God bless. I will review my new Skulls on Fire jewelry necklace. Like I said, you can watch the Versus by Versace watch review. Watch my jewelry collection videos. I wanted to do a fragrance review, I couldn't do it, and I was going to do an October favorites, which I did film, and that got deleted, so I was so annoyed by that, because when I upload videos, like, my Wi-Fi is so slow and everything like that, and it just, I said, okay, you know what, let's do it through Google Drive, and supposedly it was uploading, and then it wasn't uploaded, and then it was uploaded, but then, like, I don't know what it was. It's like if you've ever saved a drafted tweet on your iPod or your iPhone, and then you go on the computer, or maybe, like, for me, iPod to Android, like, your drafted tweets aren't all there, you know, like, I think it just drafts it on the thing you use it on, so, I don't know, that's weird, but maybe that's what happened, because I remember I got onto my laptop to upload it through my laptop to YouTube, like, it said, like, file doesn't exist, and, like, it was messed up or something, so I just deleted it. And then when I got on my phone, it was playing and it could upload, but then, like, because I deleted it, like, it said, oh, like, file, like, interrupted, and I was just like, oh my god, great. So that video is unofficially scrapped by accident. So I will try to that October favorites video and a fragrance review, because I did film a Christina Aguilera Royal Desire fragrance review, because I was going to compare it to Ariana Grande's signature fragrance Ari, but that got messed up. So just honestly, this semester has not been my semester, and there are a lot of stupid people I'm dealing with, but myself included. I don't know, just again, tell me what you guys want to see, what you want me to talk about. I don't know, but I'm almost home. There's a lot of traffic, and like I said, this video is kind of most of the drive home, so I still kind of got really like another 30 minutes before I get home, but I don't want this video to be too long for you little queens. So again, hi to Rami Malek, stay safe and God bless, and just be nice and tolerant to people. Honestly, you guys, just don't be stupid, and the world will probably be such a better place. But people, I swear, just, it's never gonna go away, obviously, but you can try to be nicer and stuff like that. So again, hi to Rami Malek, and just, I don't know, pray for people. Pray for the world in general, just pray for the world, you know. But hi Rami Malek, if you ever see this video or any of my other videos, I'm waiting for you, my babe. So we'll see what other video I come with next. Hopefully the reviews and the jewelry and stuff. So I'll see you guys when I see you. So whatever, you know, just be good, guys. So hi to Rami Malek again. Bye.